Today we are going to discuss about the universal law of gravitation. Actually, what is universal law of gravitation? It states that every object in the universe attracts every other object with a force which is proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. For example, suppose we have two bodies. The mass of this body is small m. The mass of this body is capital M. The distance between the centers of two bodies, let us suppose it is r. We have two bodies. The mass of one body is capital M and the mass body is small m. The distance between the centers of these two bodies is r. So actually, what is the universal law of gravitation? It says that there are two objects. This object or this body will attract this body via force. Similarly, this body will also attract this body towards itself by a force. And the force is proportional to their product of masses, m multiplied by small m. This is the product of their masses. Further, this force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Okay, listen again. We have two bodies, one whose mass is capital M and the other whose mass is small m. The distance between the centers is small r. So these two bodies will apply equal and opposite force on each other, and the force will be proportional to the product of their masses, that is m multiplied by m, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So from these two equations we can conclude that F is proportional to m multiplied by m divided by r square. From these two equations we can say that F is proportional to m multiplied by m divided by r square. Now removing the proportionality sign, we get a constant which is capital G m multiplied by m r square. So actually this is the force between two bodies which are separated by a distance r. This body whose mass is capital M will attract this body towards itself. So it will apply a force on this body towards this direction. Okay, and this body will apply a force on this body towards this direction. We have studied Newton's laws. The third law of Newton states that if this body is applying a force in this body, suppose this capital mass M body is applying a force on this body. So to conquer this force, this body will also apply a force on this body according to the third law of motion of Newton's. That is, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So we have get the value of this force equal to F equal to G m upon r square. Here this G is called proportional constant or universal gravitation constant. Okay, the value of G is 6.67 multiplied to the 10 to the power minus 11, and its unit is Newton meter square per kilogram square. Okay, from here I can state that G is equal to F multiplied by r square upon product of two masses. So unit of G will be force unit Newton, distance unit is meter, so meter square divided by kg multiplied by kg square. Okay, this is the universal law of gravitation. Okay, this G is always constant. Suppose you are having two bodies on the surface of moon, so they will also apply a force on each other by this formula, but the value of G will be this. It never changes. Okay, it is always constant in universe at any place. Now, for example, we are supposed to write given we have sun, we have earth. Let us suppose, for example, the distance between sun and the earth. For example, you suppose it has to be 10 kilometer for an instant. Okay, and the mass of the sun is 5 kg. Mass of the earth is 3 kg. Okay, so what will be the force between the sun and the earth, or what will be the gravitational force between them? So we will say that force is equal to G mass of sun multiply by mass of earth divided by the square of the distance between them. Okay, so force is equal to value of G is 6.67 multiplied to 10 to the power minus 11 multiplied by mass of sun is 5, mass of earth is 3 divided by r square, that is 10 multiplied by 10. Okay, so solve this value, you will get the force between these two bodies. Is it clear?